I'm Tiffany Bohe, Executive Director of the San Francisco Redevelopment Agency. Thank you all for coming today. We're here today to celebrate and acknowledge the stewardship of the residents of this block of Newcomb, which is part of our Model Block Program initiative launched in 2005 in close collaboration with our city departments, SFPUC, DPW, Planning, MTA, with the leadership from our elected officials. Mr. Mayor, Supervisor Cohen, thank you.
Good morning. Thank you.
The investments that we can see here today in both the public realm, these incredible streetscape improvements, and in the private realm through the low-cost loan program for homeowners, you can see one example here, for homeowners on this block to upgrade and maintain their homes, demonstrate the mayor's commitment to investing in and revitalizing our city's neighborhoods, and starting right here in the Bayview Hunters Point community. And in doing so, creating local jobs for San Francisco residents. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With that, I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Morning, and thank you, Tiffany. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you, everybody, for coming down to our brand new Newcomb Avenue. All right. In the Bayview, yes. A few months ago, I got started here, but let me say this. For Supervisor Cohen, who was here with me months ago, and all the other departments from our Public Utilities Commission, our Redevelopment Agency, our Public Works, and our Environmental Protection Agency, as well as many others. You know, if Santa has a choice for which street he's going to visit first, I think he's going to come right to Newcomb Avenue first, because it's a really well-designed street. It's one of our great streets that we started some 16 of these redesigns all over the city, and Newcomb Avenue became one of the most important ones, where we're getting the blessing of our planning department working in close collaboration with our Model Blocks program under the Redevelopment Agency to redesign these streets to make sure that we do the most environmentally friendly, but also pedestrian and resident-friendly types of things. And so you'll notice that some of the very good treatment here, and some of it's a little hard to see, but PUC is going to talk a little bit about the stormwater. You know, when it rains, and of course one of these days it'll rain, that the water, instead of going into our storm sewers, will end up helping to feed into all the plants that have been planted on here, whether they're on islands or the new permeable landscaping that has gone on here. That helps with the design that slows traffic down. It increases the beauty of the street. It makes it that much more engaging for our residents who live out here. And it also helps with the 20-odd trees that have been replanted on here to increase just the beauty of the street, but make it that much more enlivened with our greening of our streets. At the same time, it took a few more months than anticipated. Originally, this job was to take about 4 months. But after the PUC and the DPW dug in and got into the bottom of the main sewer line, they discovered some big challenges down there that increased that work. And when they did that, they wanted to make sure that that main sewer line was going to work perfectly, along with all of its feeds into each house. So while infrastructure sometimes is hard to imagine and see, you're standing on a street now that's probably going to be the best street for decades to come because of the sewer lines being redone completely, the sewer line feeders into every home. You'll have unstoppable sewer. No longer those backups from years. The fire chief's going to have a really pleasant time going down this very widened street, right, to make sure the services are there. And as I said earlier, this is a beautiful project coming in virtually all aspects, not only design, not only the infrastructure, but even the workforce that was put together here. I want to thank the contractors who are working so well with our city build program, because of the 42 persons who worked on this, 18 of them were residents. And within that resident workforce, they completed some 43% of all of the work hours on this brand new street. 43%. That's a very, very good standard, the highest standard that we've had. And we made that commitment at the beginning that Our local folks in 94124 would be hired. Our San Francisco residents would be hired. They did it very, very well. And of course, we can even do better, but on these beautiful streets we have, some 16 of them, this is one of them. We have 8 of them already completed. That includes Van Ness and some of the other ones, and we have 5 under current construction, and another about 3 or 4 major ones, including Market Street, are under planning. So all of the team, from our PUC to our EPA to our redevelopment to our planning to our public works to the fire department and police departments that have been working here along with the contractors, they all have to be thanked. But the most important people that I want to acknowledge today are the Newcomb Avenue residents who live right here on this street. Thank you very much for your cooperation. You know, you joined in the whole vision of this. You were working from day one to embrace upon this idea that we could use infrastructure to re-enliven our streets. And it has done so. And I see a lot of smiling faces because you want to see Santa coming here too. and also you're much happier, I know, because your kids that are living here, you're not displaced. You're here. This is your home. And you want this street to really reflect the beauty of all of the great streets in San Francisco. So thank you for working so closely with everybody. Thank you for your incredible patience. And thank you for welcoming all of us in to help share in the wonder of your brand new streets. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Supervisor Malia Cohen is a staunch advocate for her residents as well as D10 and the residents of D10. We thank her for her leadership on this project, and we're pleased to partner with her along with the residents. Supervisor Cohen.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's a beautiful day. 7 months ago, I think we stood here. Many of the people standing with me and in front of me stood here when we were doing the groundbreaking ceremony, and here we are making sure our walk and our talk are in line with each other. And I told you 7 months ago that this was the beginning of the rebirth of a very exciting time for a very exciting neighborhood. And here we are along the new pavement, along an infamous street, Newcomb. Those that know Newcomb know that there's been good activity and bad activity that happened right there on the corner of 3rd and Newcomb. But here we are, one block off of 3rd Street, celebrating and lauding the good work of San Franciscans, of our an shining example of our local hire initiative in place and working strong and vibrant. I also want to acknowledge the public partners that make this a reality. We've got Nuru here and the mayor and PUC, and I mean everyone is here, and this is a physical manifestation of the partnership of not just on the city side, but of the contractors and the developers and the private businesses partnered with the citizens, working to make San Francisco better, one street at a time. So I just want to say thank you. This is a very exciting time, and I am very happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. Infrastructure is the backbone of our city. And we couldn't have done this incredible streetscape project without the hard work of our partners over at DPW. Mohammed Nuru. Please.
Okay, let me join the mayor and the supervisor in thanking everyone for coming out. I don't know how many people know what Newcomb Street used to look like, but this is a huge change for the community and a huge victory. And as we continue to design our streets all around San Francisco, starting with this one and the other ones that the mayor had spoke about, you know, we will continue to make sure we have sidewalk landscaping. These gardens you see, actually, when it rains, will actually absorb water and reduce the amount of water that will end up in our sewer plant. The pavers will also collect water. And so as much as half of a rainfall could be lessened and just absorbed into our landscape and continue to sustain a healthy street, but also a healthy soil for us, and reduce the amount that actually goes to our sewer plant. The design itself has been changed. If you notice on this street, the lights are human scale. They're not these tall lights that overhang. They're actually designed to fit the neighborhood itself. And the plants themselves are also plants that are from around the area. So they will do well. They are low maintenance, but I know with the Newcomb Avenue neighbors that they're going to help make sure that we at least keep them free of trash and make sure that they do well. It is a victory. I would like to thank all the staff from DPW, starting with our Deputy Director, Fuad Suisse, our project manager, and all our landscape architects and engineers that worked very hard to make this a huge success. I am from the neighborhood, and so I'm looking forward to seeing many of our streets change into a more sustainable and enjoyable street. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. The SFPUC is a leader in environmental stewardship, at the forefront of environmental best practices, from adopting and pushing us to adopt stormwater management guidelines to clean energy. I think this street is a physical manifestation of the hard work and dedication driven by the residents and a great partnership with city departments, including SFPUC's General Manager, Ed Harrington.
Thank you. This is a great day to be out here. It's a wonderful day to be out here with the sun. Again, it's a partnership of all the departments in the city, but also the people who live in this neighborhood. When we do these kind of programs, we have to have folks that will take care of them, and the neighborhood here taking care of it is important to us. It's stunning to see all the cooperation. The big deal here is that as we start to rebuild our wastewater system in San Francisco, we can't just build bigger treatment plants. We have to do things like permeable pavement with these wonderful swales, with everything else. 400,000 gallons of water a year is going to go into the ground here as opposed to going into our wastewater treatment plant. If we can duplicate that throughout San Francisco, we can have a wonderful system, provides groundwater, provides a nice environment for people, and also allows us to have a treatment plant that's appropriate for the city of San Francisco. So great to be here today. Thank you very much for our help.
Thank you, Ed. As the other speakers have indicated, this could not have happened without the leadership and direction from the residents of this very block. And speaking on behalf of the residents, Sandy Michelotti. Thank you. Sandy?
Thank you. I'm also bringing the core that's very important to this whole project. Members of the model block, Newcomb Avenue, reflect the diversity of San Francisco. We want to break with some misconceptions of who populates Bayview Hunters Point. I have been a resident on this block for over 25 years. I am one of the longest living residents here. Very few others have preceded me. My house, well, first I also want to backtrack and say that this project originated with redevelopment. Redevelopment put this little star in our eyes, and we were wondering if it could ever come out. And they came with this project, and it was their idea to help redevelop our street. With the neighbors on this block, we were able to win the award. And with all the neighbors and redevelopment, and also I want to thank very much One World Design, this project came to light. We were able to get it on paper, and then from there it went front paper into reality with the help of all the other departments. Also, I want to acknowledge the core members of the group that worked on this project. Mardina Graham, Michelle Mouton, Juan Fuentes, and Anna Smith. I want to thank all these guys. We met over and over with other residents on the block at my house month after month to make this project work. And there is so much love that goes out to redevelopment again for all the effort that we put in. It took 6 years to do this, and some people were saying this is not ever going to happen, but in my heart and in my soul, I knew we were going to get this done. And today is the day, sunny as it is. You can see the wonderful, beautiful results of all the work of all the neighbors who have backed us every moment through this, and all the other departments that have helped us out. We all want to thank you. This project built this block as a very tight neighborhood now. We not only walk and pick litter up together, but we go into each other's homes, we eat dinners, we drink, we have a great time. We have now become a family. And again, thanks again for those that were able to see this, be able to come through. Let's see. And I want to thank the residents because this block has been torn up for a long time, especially since we found that the main sewer line needed repair. The residents have endured with very little complaint, having to work around dirt, potholes, main trenches, and they were able to, without very little complaining, we got through this whole thing. So thank you, and we now are going to learn how to take care of it, which I know we can. We already have. You won't see cigarette butts in the planters and litter in the ground. So thank you very much for everybody. And I want to introduce another core member, Juan Fuentes. He has a bit to say of the stuff that you don't see that has happened.
Buenos dias. Anyway, I'm a resident here. My wife and I and my kids were raised here. We've been here for over 20 years. I'm an artist. One of the things that we've done, that the model block has done, is that we've talked about how it's put us closer together as a family. And what it's done is it's empowered us as a community to rebuild our block. I have been gardening with Ann. We share houses. I mean, our houses are side by side. So for the last 3 or 4 years, I've been gardening in her garden. We do a vegetable garden. I started out with 1 barrel that Mardina gave me through the PUC, one of their environmental fairs that they did. They gave me a 55-gallon drum. I now have over a dozen drums and 3 250-gallon drums. I collect over 1,000 gallons of water that I harvest from the rain. And this summer, I watered my whole garden with the water from the rain harvest. So that's another thing that's happened on the block. I also have watered some of Ann's garden as well with that same water. The other thing that we have on the block that Karen is not here. She lives in the nice gray house over there, but she's an advocate, and she's been working with the environmental things in this community for a long time, and she was one of the people that was responsible for PG&E getting us some solar panels. The Phillips have solar panels. We have solar panels. Mardina has solar panels. Ann has solar panels, and it's cut our electricity bill in half. So the other part of the greening, and the other part that we're trying to emphasize on the block, is we want our community and the young people on this block to really respect the block and to keep it clean and to learn how to recycle. We have green bins, blue bins, and black bins. We need to figure out where all of these things go because it's all part of our environment and saving our environment. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Sandy. I think as Juan indicated, this Newcomb Model Block Greening Project demonstrates how community involvement and empowerment really go hand in hand. I do want to make sure that I acknowledge there's a large number of redevelopment staff who are here. Maybe show your hands who had a hand in this for many, many years. Our project manager, Vanessa Dandridge, along with many, many others, Lucidia McMorrow, Gaynell McKern, and our former redevelopment staffer, but now Mo, acting director, Olson Lee, and many, many others in the staffs of the other departments. So thank you very much for all of your help. We appreciate it. I think with that, let's get to the ribbon cutting.
Got this ribbon, and I've been dedicated to this block.
about lighting. Well, let me start out by saying that, from the get-go last night, I was personally talking with PG&E, and we continued that discussion this morning. Just before coming here, I had a chance to talk with the CEO of PG&E, Mr. Anthony Early, and we agreed that all the engineers from his divisions, with the city's Public Utilities Commission, Rec and Park, as well as the California Public Utilities Commission, are all coming together this afternoon to review the outages that occurred last night. As you know, there were 2 outages last night, and the first one appeared, we're going to get all the confirmation this afternoon, but it appears from this morning's conversations that that resulted from a splice failure, if you will, or a downed wire that was part of the main transmission of power to the stadium. The secondary power outage occurred as a result of bringing that power back up and using secondary circuits, and that level was still under investigation as to what occurred to cause that second outage. Obviously, the city was embarrassed. We obviously apologized to the 49ers for this happening, and Mr. York was very understanding. The primary thing that we did, though, that was done well, was that we declared public safety to be the most important thing last night, and I need to thank all the fans that were out at Candlestick last night. They performed and were very good at keeping themselves calm. Our police and fire and the security at Candlestick Park was excellent. We got information out to everyone in all the stands through the various radio frequencies that were made available to all the security, including our officers and security and Rec and Park staff. And so instantly, in a matter of seconds, those that didn't understand what was going on, that may initially thought it was a surprise event that was going to occur, were quickly informed that the outage did occur and that they were to remain calm. And so there were no evacuations called, although we had immediately went into planning mode in case that was necessary. But everyone was safe, and that was the number one concern. Having said that, obviously we all experienced kind of a national embarrassment for this to happen, and so we were on the phones as early as last evening, or during the game and after the game, of course all this morning, to make sure that this doesn't happen again. We expect another playoff game in early January. The failed splice line has already been repaired by PG&E, but we are going to go through some immediate protocols with them, with oversight from the California Public Utilities Commission and our staff, as well as Public Utilities Commission, to make sure that we've covered every base so this does not happen again for the foreseeable future through all the playoff games that might occur here. We want to make sure that all the games that the 49ers play are going to be successful, as the result indicated last night, but also successful for all the fans, so there's no more interruption. So we're doing the full investigation, have all the engineers comparing their notes this afternoon in the offices of both the PG&E as well as our Public Utilities Commission. And again, I emphasize we're getting some good cooperative oversight by everybody, and California PUC as well. There is cooperation at every point. Right now, we're not wasting any time blaming anybody for this accident that occurred, but we're all going to make sure that this does not occur again, and we're all on the same page for this happening. And I've led that effort with talking with the CEO of PG&E this morning. So I'd be glad to.
That this could have been vandalism with a downed or spliced wire?
We're going to go through that. There were some bomb threats that were well handled yesterday by our police department, but there was no indication right now as we speak that this was other than an accident. So we're going to go with that, but we're going to continue comparing notes with everybody. It's the full investigation to determine whether or not there were other external events that would have occurred that would have caused this. But so far, we don't have any information that suggests that this would have been tampered by anybody else, and that is with the concurrence of our police and our fire chief as well. Well, again, this was electrical service to the stadium that failed, and so our offer is completely separate. Our offer is to build a brand new stadium. So does Santa Clara's is to build a brand new stadium with new linkages to all power and also with new lights. Some of these lights take a little time when the power goes off to have to relit and refuse them. And newer lights in new stadiums that would be in our new stadium if we were given the opportunity, or in Santa Clara, would be instantly on. So it's a completely separate issue. Well, you'll have to talk to Mr. York about that. I do think that we still stand a very strong plan B to build a stadium for them. And I think, by the way, if you look at other new stadiums across the country, particularly Major League Baseball, you might find instances where even new stadiums had challenges as well. So it shouldn't, again, they're separate issues.
Mayor,
yes, go ahead.
PG&E is saying that this transformer explosion might have resulted from a city-owned switch that failed last night. Do you know anything about that?
Well, I talked with Mr. Early just literally within the last hour and a half, and he confirms that the original outage that occurred was a result of a failure of their line. And it was what they call a splice failure. And it was evidenced by the television cameras that had recorded the kind of arcing. Originally, it was thought to be a transformer explosion. We have confirmed that it was not a transformer explosion. It was a main feeding circuit line that PG&E owns that somehow failed. And so they have confirmed for us this morning that the original outage was due to that splice failure. Now, how that failure occurred is what is under investigation. And both PG&E and the CPUC and our own PUC staff here, along with the fire department and our, as well as others, are going to reconfirm that as well by our own engineers working cooperatively with the PG&E engineers.
Do you have faith in PG&E?
Well,
Keeping us safe?
I have faith in everybody doing the best job they can. I have faith going forward that we're going to work in a very deliberate fashion to make sure this doesn't happen. As you know, our city has systems that have been here for a long period of time. So, but I was very saddened, certainly embarrassed to have this happen on the night of our only Monday night football game. Everything is on the line. I have to say, I'm very glad we won. I'm going to support the 49ers by doing the best job I can as mayor to make sure that as we go forward, every playoff game is re-inspected, all of the protocols in place, additional protocols if we come up with them that would guarantee that this will not happen again. And going forward, I think we have everybody on the same page, assuring that we're going to do everything we can that this doesn't happen again. It shouldn't happen, and we don't want it to happen. So.
You were at the game last night, yeah, Mayor?
Yes, I was, the first half. And
For the second outage as well?
yes, I was. And our ability to communicate was a bit challenged as well, and we're going to work on that. In fact, I think the 49ers will talk about that this afternoon, that they have some plans to increase cell phone use at the park. But having said that,
When the power went out, what did you think?
of course, oh my God was the first issue. And certainly I was concerned for the fans. I mean, public safety is our number one concern. I think our police department and our fire department and our recreation and park, working alongside with the security that the 49ers have, they all acted very well. And so everybody was safe. And once that was done, and of course then the communications with PG&E electrical engineers were occurring all night long, all through midnight, well into the early hours, and then it restarted this morning to make sure everybody was working together. So.
About the NFL, a statement to the NFL. They have said that they're not very happy.
They shouldn't have to be happy. I mean, this was an embarrassing situation, and so my apologies to the National Football League as well as to the 49ers, to their players. I know they joked about it and they took it in good spirit and they were prepared to go forward. That's what professional athletes do, and that's what the business of football is. We're going to make sure that doesn't happen again, and I assure you that I'm going to be on top of this with Mr. Early and with everybody, their expertise, to make sure it doesn't happen. I'm sorry. Oh, this was happened to do with cell phones. The cell coverage, yeah, because some fans that were trying to communicate inside and out felt challenges. I had some challenges of my own when I was at the stadium trying to get out that was what I meant about the communications. It could be increased. And so I know the 49ers are working on that with us, and they're going to make some announcements about that. Okay. This afternoon. This afternoon, yeah.
Notice you're carrying the Niners hat. Are you going to be wearing that a lot?
Oh, yeah. I keep this hat in the car. I keep it with me all the time. I'm a big 49ers fan, as you know. And again, for me, I want to make sure that the 49ers have a successful season. They're into the playoffs. They're all well on their way to the Super Bowl. And I'm going to make sure that they have every game successful as much as I can. Thank you very much.